Welcome, welcome, my beautiful friends, to the Sacred Writing Podcast. I am really excited because today we have an extraordinary guest who's on the show, who has been in my mastermind. She is also my dear friend and my cousin. Really, really excited to have her on the show. But before we jump in, I want to share that the mastermind for men, so the Awakening Authors Mastermind, is now being created and opened for men, a full group dedicated to helping men learn how to channel and receive their books and publish with Freedom House Publishing Co. That's one of the beautiful aspects of the masterminds I run. It's all inclusive. It's like a Disneyland prize. You get to come in, you learn how to channel. I support you in writing your books, creating your courses, creating the programs that go with the book, and then we publish it with Freedom House. This is the first time I've offered a mastermind for men, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited. If you are a man and you've been wanting to learn how to channel write your book, you've been wanting to publish with Freedom House, click the link in our show notes. I want you to apply. This mastermind begins in July. So lots of great things happening there. I want to before we jump in today, I just want to set the stage. This is such a powerful conversation we're going to have today with one of my favorite people, and you're all going to fall in love with her. I would love to introduce you guys to Amy Hill. Amy, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
So let me tell our listeners a little bit about you. So Amy is my cousin, but we have this really big family where her mom was one of the oldest, my mom was the youngest. And so we didn't grow up like cousins, right? Like you're closer to my mom's age and I'm closer to your kids' age. So I grew up with your kids being my cousins. So growing up, we weren't like hanging out like cousins. And then years later, like God just pulled us together in these beautiful ways. And you were in my Awaken program with me. We did a lot of coaching through there. You joined one of my masterminds. And when I started this last edition of my mastermind, I felt really inspired to have you as the accountability coach for my women. And you were so extraordinary, and you held this space for them in the most brilliant way. I was so grateful to walk that path with you. And then when that 6 months was up, I was like, Amy, you're supposed to just be in this mastermind. Get on in here. You got work to do. And so now you are in the mastermind with these powerful women. You're rising in your gifts. You're changing the world through what you're doing. Amy, I'm so happy. I'm so happy that you're here. So why don't you share with our listeners the things that you do, and so they get a little bit of idea of who Amy Hill is.
Oh, thank you, Keira, for that introduction. So I have been practicing with my muscle testing. I'm a muscle testing facilitator, and I also do some energy work with that. And that's been a journey of about 6 years that I've been doing that. So I also have, I've started doing some coaching recently, and because I had that confidence in joining your mastermind, so the coaching has started, and that's been a beautiful experience as well.
I love it. You are extremely gifted. Those who work with you get amazing results. I watched in my mastermind alone when you supported these women weekly in their accountability sessions. She coached them weekly. These women had such amazing results with you. So I'm just like really honoring you as the coach, the healer that you are. And you were in our collaboration book. That was the first book that you were published in, the collaboration with the Divine book that came out February 22nd. Yes. I love that day. 2022 was the day that book came out. You wrote a beautiful chapter in it. And now we're celebrating you because you just had your very first book published.
Yes, ma'am. That's pretty exciting.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about that book?
So I was inspired to write this book many years ago. Our grandmother that has passed, she has just been on my shoulder and just asking me to write. And I don't feel like I was a writer. And so I put it off and put it off and put it off until finally it just got so loud that I just couldn't ignore that anymore. So and then, going to the retreat with you and receiving all of that information, boy, my book just dropped in. That, we finished, it was like no time at all. It didn't take us any time. So I felt like, we cleared some stuff and why I was stuck. And boy, that book just came in so loud and clear. And for me, it's just a beautiful testament to these children. And I mean, anybody who's listening, but a testament to these children that there are angels with us. And it's not always a loud heavens open and it's just this, but it's just the little ways, the little things, how our angels can be with us. I have always just been so inspired knowing that angels are with me. And so I felt inspired to tell, especially my littles. I have 5 grandchildren, and I just want them to know that angels are with them always in everything that they do. So
I love it. And that's what your book is about. Your book is a children's book that helps children see how angels are always working with them, how they have access to working with their spiritual team, which is just, one of my favorite conversations ever. Yeah. And so what I love is that you wrote this children's book to help children become aware of their angels, become aware of how their angels help them at soccer practice or gymnastics. And you get to bring in this conversation that we just aren't taught. We don't have children's books that we read to kids at nighttime that say, hey, this is how you can use your spiritual team. And you brought that through. And one of my favorite parts about your book is the artwork in your book. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the artwork?
Oh, that was really inspirational. When the book first dropped in, I just could see, I have a granddaughter named Palmer. She's 8 now. But when she was 4, she took a class in school, and she would draw these extraordinary paintings and drawings. And so her face came to my head, and I just said, oh, Palmer's got to draw pictures for this book. And so, of course, when I presented it to her, all of them are piping in saying, well, I can draw. I can do this. I'm an artist. And so I just decided to incorporate all of them. And so all of my littles are illustrators in my book, even down to the 2-year-old who has a little scribble in there. But he was so cute and so insistent, because I said, here's sketch pads and here's pencils for the older kids. And the little one said, I color too, Mamie. So of course I had to put a little Slater one in there too. So
I love it.
so,
I think here's what's so fun, right? Is that this book is going to go out and it's going to bless so many children's lives and parents' lives, because what I love about children's books is it teaches parents principles as they read to their children. And so you are planting these seeds into parents' hearts of waking up to their spiritual team, waking up to their angels. And yet it's also like this beautiful gift to your family. All of the people, like all of your grandchildren, all of your children, their great grandchildren, like they're going to look at this and say, oh, grandma, what do they call you again?
Mamie.
Mamie made this book, and it has all of our artwork in it. Like, it's such a family history jewel. It feels like this is a jewel that you put into the world to change the world, but it's also just going to be so treasured by your family.
I think that too, because I have, I've been really, I don't think I really thought about it as I was writing it and as it was all coming together. But now that it's done and I see it, I just see like this legacy that I'm leaving for them. Because I have all of these beautiful memories with my grandmother and how we played together and we sang songs together. And oh, how I wish I had that. Gosh, I'll cry. But I wish I had that to hold on to my grandma. And so these kids get to hold on to me forever and know that we had this project together. So it's just a beautiful experience for all of us. And they've been so cute and so involved in every single step of this. I'll tell them, oh, the book's going to editing this week. We're going to be published pretty soon. And she's so involved. And she said, wait, hold on. So you mean to tell me that when it lists who the illustrators are on the back of the book, you're going to be listed as author and my name's going to be on there? I was like, yes. So she's just so cute about it. So
I love it. I think what you've done is a gift to everyone, a major gift to your family. And there's something about when I was growing up, there was these children's magazines that we used to always get. In the back of the children's magazine, there were these little tiny pictures of children's drawings. And it would always have the kid's name and their age. And I remember flipping to that first. As a child, there was something about going and looking at the drawings from children who were close to my age. And when we were putting your book together, it hit me like there's something about seeing other children's drawings in this book that's going to really pull kids in because they're going to relate to it, right? Like, oh, it was my favorite thing as a child. And I think it's going to be something that all children really gravitate to.
Oh, fun. I love that.
Yeah. I want to tell the story about our formatting. So we're not really like a normal publishing house. Okay. Like, let me just be honest. I didn't even know how to publish when I started a publishing house. So everything that we do has been like divinely taught to me and me just figuring things out. Like I never went and looked at other publishing models. I never was like, how does anyone else do this? I don't know why I never thought of that. It probably would have been a lot easier, but I figured it out like the way I wanted to publish. So we're very divinely guided in all things. And Claire, who is my sister, who is our publishing specialist, she like texts me the week before we publish, and she's like, I don't really like what the formatter did to Amy's book. And she sends it over to me. I'm like, oh, this is a hell no. We are not publishing the way you formatted this book. No, rewind 3 hours earlier, I'm at Target with my family. I don't know why we're at Target. We're getting some things at Target. And I'm walking past this shelf and I see this yoga mat. And I'm not like a big, like, I need to buy more yoga mats. I already have 3 yoga mats. Like I don't need more yoga mats in my life. And I hear a divine like voice in my ear, buy that yoga mat. And I was like, I mean, it's on sale. It's like 50% off. I guess I'll buy it. And it was like very strong. No, you buy it right now. So I throw it in the cart. We get home. Then Claire sends me the text later that night. And I'm like, oh, this is horrible. We're trying to come up with new ideas to make it formatted better. And I hear again, send Claire a picture of the yoga mat. So I'm like, this is weird. I'm like, take a picture of the yoga mat. Hey, Claire, guess what I bought at Target? Like, why am I sending her this picture? And she's like, oh my gosh, Keira, the images on that yoga mat, those are the images for Amy's book. Like,
oh
what?
My gosh.
You're right. Oh my gosh, Claire, these are the images. So we like take a picture of the yoga mat, send it to our formatter. We're like, these are the images we want in Amy's book. and I love like that's like for me, that's your angels coming in and saying, we know exactly how this book's supposed to be. And we're going to give Keira these clues and we're going to help Claire see it. And we're going to do this so that your book was beautiful. And it turned out gorgeous.
It did. It did. I cried when I saw it. And, and then when you tell me the story about it, it just makes sense of how like they're just there. And, the angels want they want their message out there. And so, and it had to look perfect. It had to look how they wanted it to look. So,
Right? And isn't it so
um,
heavenly looking? Like the
oh, it is.
images of it's
With
so
the little
great.
stars. I love how the little stars are on there. Yeah, it's so cute.
So it's just proof that we're never alone. And even though this idea felt really big at one point, right? I really want to like highlight that. Like when this idea came in, it felt impossible. It felt
Mhm.
so hard. And then to watch every piece be taken care of by your spiritual team, down to
Mhm.
the fact that I had to buy a yoga mat to get the right designs in this book. I mean, it's just testament of this book of what you're talking about. So share with us, if you can, what your hope is. What is your hope with this book?
Um, I just hope that this message, even though it's just a little children's book and it's rhymy and but it's just how God told me to write it. In fact, I have to say, I tried to edit it without the rhyming, and I couldn't even find um, the originals that I wrote. And so it was very interesting how um, when I started trying to change the words for me, and God was like, "No, this is not what I had you do." And so I just hope that that message comes through of how we can access our spiritual team. I am so grateful for my angels that are with me every day in everything that I do. And so I just hope that that message comes through to the mamas who are reading to their babies at night, and the dads that get to sit with their little girls, and the babysitters that read to these kids, just all of the people that this will touch. I just hope that that message comes through of you do have access to your angels at all times.
I love that. I love it, Amy. And I'm going to drop in that Amy also is a songwriter for children. She's making these beautiful songs for children. And so I remember we're sitting in Missouri and you're like, I need to change the book. I don't want it to be so rhymey. And I was like, Amy, this is how God wrote it. And you're a songwriter. It has to be rhymey. This is like your soul. This is like the poem of your body. Like you rhyme with music and with words. And then as soon as like you felt the permission to let it be rhymey, it was like, it was it.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
like we sat downstairs in the basement of that mansion in Missouri
yeah.
and this little corner on this rocking chair, and we cleared out all the noise that didn't want this to come through. And I just felt your team, your spiritual team, just like wrapped us. And that
They
book
did.
was done in 15 minutes.
Yep,
It was crazy.
it was. It was crazy. And it's funny because I felt like I was channeling that. Boy, that inner grandma was really coming through, like you said, sitting in that little rocking chair and just wrapped in a blanket, and just, oh my gosh, I have never written so much and so fast and just so easy. It just came, it just finished, and it was so beautiful, such a beautiful
Yeah.
experience to
Oh,
feel
I
that
love
team
it.
come in.
It was so beautiful. And for sure, grandma was there. I mean, grandma's a big part of our grandma, you and me. We share this beautiful
Mhm.
grandmother. She's a big part of your work. She just really is a big part of your spiritual team. And um, grateful, so grateful that she pulled us together later on in life to be able to bring this through. Is there anything else you want to share about this book?
Well, I just wanted to share a little story. So the day that I finished this book, or well, not finished, the day that I took everything, I prayed for angels to assist me to make things easy, because it felt hard for me. Like all the steps that I was doing felt hard. And so I had to go to Kinko's and get all of my pages scanned in. And even that for me, because I'm not good with any of the, computer stuff. So anyway, so I just prayed that I would have assistance that day, and that things would go well and easy. And it went so easy. And I realized that day, it just hadn't even dawned on me that it was grandma's birthday. And so I just cried. I said, oh my gosh, happy birthday. I mean, I said, well, that was selfish of me to ask her to be with me on her birthday because everybody else wanted her too. But kind of, I mean, not a coincidence, right? That it finished, it just all went together on her birthday, and it all went to the editor on her birthday. So,
Oh my gosh, I did not realize that, Amy. That is, and I don't know if selfish is the right word. What a gift. What a gift for her, right? What a
yeah,
gift for her. What a gift for you to be connecting through this beautiful veil between earth and heaven, to
yeah.
bring this powerful message to the earth to help people
Mhm.
remember their spiritual team, awaken to their spiritual team.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful, Amy. I
Thank
love
you.
that. I
Thank you.
love that. So, how can people get this book? Why don't you share where they can get this book and where they can follow you if they want to work with you? Give us all those details.
So I am Amy at KeiraPoulsen.com. That's my
Yes.
email.
Yep.
And you can reach me on Instagram at Amy Hill Clear Blue Intentions. And also my book will be available on Amazon. And of course, I'm going to buy copies. And so if you'd like a signed copy, I would be happy to do that as well. So
Yes. Oh, I love it. I love it. My invitation is that everyone go to the show notes, grab the link to her book, go buy it. Go buy like 5. The world of children's books right now, as a mother to 5 children, and I read children's books a lot still. I still have a 10 and 7-year-old. We still read every night. There's a huge gap in children's books. Like, they used to be really good, and then they got really boring. They got really like pointless. They don't really teach messages. They're just kind of fluff.
hmm.
This is the type of book that we need to be reading our children. This is the type of book that I want to give at a baby shower. This is the type of book I want to give to my nieces and nephews, right? Like, go grab this book, everyone who's listening. And if you feel so inspired to reach out to Amy, reach out, book a session. She is extraordinary at what she does. You will feel her immense love. If anyone's watching this YouTube video,
Thank
you
you.
can just feel it from your presence, Amy. You just exude love, and you see the greatness in others. And that
Thank
is a
you.
gift. That's a gift.
Thank you.
So with that, I love, before we end, if you want to close your eyes and drop into your heart and just feel, is there a message that you could end with that's present for you right now?
What I feel is I just want my grandchildren to know who I am as a person, who I am as not just their grandma, but just as a person, that I'm real and that I care about them more than they'll ever know. And and just, if you're wanting that connection with your littles, but just be real with them. And I try to be present with them when we're together. I try to be present, even down to camping and voting and going to their activities. I just try to be so present and to be in their lives in every way possible. And if you're not with them, maybe you could do Zoom calls with your littles and read with them through Zoom, or those kind of things. That just being present in their life is just such a big deal to me.
Oh, they're so lucky to have you. And it is such
Um,
a great reminder for all of us who have children or grandchildren in our lives, nieces and nephews, how to bring more presence, connection intention to our time with them. So
Mhm.
thank you, Amy. Thank you for being on the show today. Thank you for writing this book.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Same.
Thank you so much.
So as we close today, just want to send everyone off with the message of being aware of your spiritual team will make your life easier. When you work with your angels, the hard becomes softer. The impossible becomes possible. And there's a whole realm of magic waiting for you when you lean into it. With that, I will see you guys all next week on the Sacred Writing Podcast.